didn't heed the warnings to move south, to leave Gaza City, believing it was safer to stick together in the Holy Family compound, the Roman Catholic Church. 10 minutes drive away is St. Porphyrius, the Greek Orthodox Church. They're both part of a diminishing Christian community in Gaza, with fewer than 1,000 people left. And that's another reason George stayed. He feels a responsibility to keep Christianity alive in the area. Rhiannon DeLaune is from the charity Embrace the Middle East. Before the war, George took her on a tour of the Christian sites in the area.
The first place we visited was the Orthodox Church. It was a really, really hot day. We walked into the top level of the church and it was just really cool and really dark. So we switched on the lights and there's just beautiful, beautiful icons and murals all over the walls that tell the history of the church. And it's just a really calm and peaceful space. It's just so old as well, and some of the columns date back to the original church, which was founded in 402 AD. The main area of the church is below ground level because it's so old that obviously the ground level has risen and people have built. It just really struck me that the roots of the Christian community are that deep in Gaza. They're so rooted there. And there's a cemetery at the back, which has just got generations and generations of family that have just lived in that space and served and worshipped in that land for such a long time.
That church is thought to be the third oldest in the world. It was sheltering 200 Orthodox Christians when it was struck by an Israeli missile in October. 18 people were killed. The IDF say unequivocally that the church wasn't the intended target and that Hamas is using civilians as human shields. Earlier that month, George had told me about the two churches and who was there.
Yes, actually in the Catholic Church there is only the Christian community members sheltering here, and also in the Orthodox Church. There are almost like 800 Christians sheltering in the two churches. We feel terrible, we feel scared, everybody is like under trauma. What we do is we try to encourage people, tell them the truth and tell them the exact situation, ask them to pray and trust that Jesus Christ will never leave us alone.
On December the 16th, 2 women were killed by sniper fire as they crossed the courtyard of the Holy Family Church. The Latin Patriarchate, in charge of Roman Catholics in the area, said they'd been killed in cold blood and no warning was given. It said 7 more were shot and wounded as they tried to protect others. The IDF say they're still reviewing what happened and that they take strikes on sensitive sites very seriously, especially churches that are holy sites for the Christian faith. I later learned that the women who died were George's cousin Samar and her mother, his auntie Nahida. I didn't hear anything from him for a month. The next thing I saw after Christmas were pictures. Pictures from the Holy Family Church that gave some hope. A group of smiling young children dressed in white for their first communion. A picture of a baby being baptized. Moments of celebration in the lives of this community. I found the parish on social media and could see videos of the congregation celebrating daily mass. I could see George, dressed in the vestments of an altar server, reading from the lectern, taking a leading role in the spiritual life of the church. They'd run out of communion wafers, but had learned to make their own with what looked in pictures like a big circular hot iron. And this bit of DIY allowed them to continue their daily ritual.
Dear Catherine, this is one of the grace of the Lord that we could make communion wafers here in Gaza Strip, actually. As you know, we need to celebrate the Mass. Mass is our life. You know, in the Mass, there is the real presence of Jesus Christ through the Holy Eucharist. So if we are able to celebrate the Mass, that means we are still alive. This is our faith, and this is how we could get more and more food and supplies and more strength and stay safe in this war.
You're listening.
More strength and stay safe in this war.
You're listening to the